Cuffs, welcome back to Spill the Tea Lou. Welcome back to another spy mission on the enemy. Only this evening, it's not my enemy, it's thine enemy. We're going to be talking about Manchester United. Please do get your votes in on the poll, guys, because it's been a long summer. It feels like the longest transfer window ever. Given that we've had a World Cup in the middle of it to distract us, it feels like it's dragging on for 6 lifetimes. There's been no here we goes. There's been nothing major. Some developments on deals we've already known about. So I'm quite enjoying these shows where we're sort of delving into the squads of some of the teams that we feel might be competing next season against us for the same positions, finding out where their squad's at, finding out what's happening with our players, what do they need to get rid of, where are they at. I'm having a really good time with them. I'm finding them quite interesting, and you know what? It's a nice little break from just talking about transfers. Obviously, if anything major happens with the transfers, we will discuss that. It's not that we're just going to not talk about transfers for the rest of the window, but unless something's actually happening, it gives us something else to sort of concentrate on. So please get your votes in on the poll. Let me know. Are you enjoying these kind of squad review shows? It's something a little bit different. Be honest, guys, because this lets me know whether to do more of them or not. If I'm enjoying them but you're not, there's kind of no point. So please do let me know if you're enjoying them. Your two options are yes, we're spying on the enemy, or no, it's just not your speed. If it's not, that's totally fine. I'm not going to be offended, but just do vote as honestly as possible in the poll. It lets me know if you want to see more of them or not, basically. So we've already done Chelsea. We've done Spurs, we did Liverpool earlier on today. This evening, we're doing Manchester United. Tomorrow, there's a Man United pre-season game because it's Saturday. Sunday, we have the Community Shield. There'll be a watch-along for that. And then we only have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday evening, back with a bang, Lou and Kai, with our season predictions. In between that, I was thinking to do City, Arsenal, Newcastle, Leeds and Villa. They're the other 5 teams I was thinking of covering. Let me know what you think. Get your votes in on the poll. Get involved in the chat. And give me your feedback, guys. And I'll consider taking some of it on board. I can't make any promises, but I want to include you. I want you to feel included in the decision-making process. Also, it's good for me to know, like, are you guys enjoying what I'm enjoying as well? So it is quite important, and I would very much appreciate it. So you've got a number of jobs now. Smash the like button, vote on the poll, and talk to me in the chat, lads. 3 different jobs. I mean, I'm making ye work for it this evening. I am making ye work for it this evening, but it's going to be worth it because I'm going to make you all feel better, other than the Man United fans. So all the people whose squads I've gone around talking about, it's my own turn. It's my own turn. United fans, prepare yourself because I've done some preliminary work on this. Dear Lord, I don't think... No, I'll tell you at the end. I'll tell you at the end where I think we are out of the teams we've looked at so far. I'll not tell you at the start. What's the point? Let's wait. Let me build suspense, guys. Build the drama. I'm one of those. Do you know when you buy somebody a present? I'm like, do you want to know what it is? Do you want me to tell you? I can't help myself, so I'm not telling you until the end of the show. I hope. But I see we've got lovely guests in the chat. We've got Shem. Mohammed is saying, I'm going to feel better watching this one. Yes, Mohammed, you had quite an involved show earlier talking about your poor Liverpool. You will be able to sit back, relax, put the feet up and enjoy this one, so you will. I see you got Ross as well. 72 players under contract, still needing 9. Oh, Roz. Oh, dear. It's not quite as bad as that, but it's not great. Luke says, my phone is too hot and I'm not enjoying holding it. That sounds dangerous. That sounds like a bogey battery. I mean, I'm not great with the IT, but hot on a phone isn't great. That's normally not a good thing for your battery. So, yeah, don't plug it into anything, Luke. Stay with us. Who else have we got? Rob Always United is here. I can't remember if I said guest, but she's here anyway. Aussie Ange is in the house with us. Everybody's saying hi. Bonkers in the chat with the big news. The consortium that we spoke about a couple of times now, but a few weeks ago, that is now happening. It's been officially announced. 30% or so, about a third, by the consortium. I can't remember the man's name. I still can't remember the man's name. I did a whole show saying his name 16 times. But big news for Liverpool, absolutely. And I can't remember, did I say Gaz? And Lucky is here as well. So hello to all of the very fantastical teacups. Thank you so very much all for being here. Mohammed saying, yes, you do not want your phone to explode. I know, it seems like a pretty basic thing, doesn't it? Don't have your phone explode, you know. Not much to ask for. But don't you worry, Luke. We will distract you. All of the non-United fans, I think, are going to enjoy this one. What I will say to the United fans, it's not good. It's not quite as bad as I thought. I mean, it's not good. But I was expecting it to be even worse. But it's not. So, let's start at the start, okay? We'll do what we did for everybody else. I'm going to try and make it fair. So, I've gone to the Man United website. Can I just say, right, up until this point, Chelsea were winning for best organised on the website. Man United were pretty top notch. We have them listed by position. I don't have to scroll anywhere. It's all there. The only thing is we've included our under-21s eligible players in our senior squad, so I had to go through them all and look at their ages individually. So, kind of a tie. So far, Spurs is still the least organised, but kind of a tie here. United, I'd prefer if they didn't have the under-21s in the senior section because it's confusing. But other than that, I like the way they've sectioned it. I like that I don't have to scroll for the pictures. It's pretty much a tie with Chelsea at the moment. Liverpool's better than Spurs on their website organisational skills. I don't like the type font on the United website. Sorry. Not that any of that matters in terms of football, but presentation matters. And if you can't get the admin right, you know, the small details matter. How can you say you pay attention to detail when you're doing silly things like that? So that's the first mark against them. I don't like their type font, and they've included the under-21s on the senior squad page, which is just confusing for everybody because they don't actually count towards the 25-man squad. So, all right, United, sort your lives out. But do you know what I think United are trying to do? I think they've included the under-21s that look like they're going to be playing or participating, so it makes it look like we've got more players than we've got. If they removed, as I was about to tell you, it would make it look a little emptier on there. So I think they've actually done it on purpose, smarty pantses. But I see DJ Milkshake has joined us. Luke is laughing, I presume, at me, but it's hard to know. Maybe at Kai. Kai is here as well. Hello to Kai. Everybody having a good little chat. Rose reminding everybody, please don't forget to hit the like button. Please do remember to hit the like button. It does help the channel defeat the algorithm. The Teacup Army must take over. Right, so let's get started. On this page, when I go to the Man United website, Wills appears. I go to the Man United website and Wills is here. Hello to Wills. Big up Teacup, says Wills. Happy Friday and hope you're all ready for a crazy season. Welcome back to the chat, Wills. Fantastic to have you back with us. Will's one of our nice Arsenal fans. Along with Luke, actually. We do have some nice Arsenal fans in here. And the very esteemed Mama Flossie has just arrived. So we can start in earnest. So, on this page, when I go to the Man United website, I go to the Man United senior squad and I look at all the people, there's 30 players listed on it. However, as I've mentioned, Man United are a pain in my bejesus. Of the 30 players on this main page, 5, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of them are under 21, and I mean not currently under 21. They qualify for the cut-off of the 1st of January under 21. So we've actually got, quite literally, 25 senior squad players. We have exactly 25. So we don't have anybody Like, do you know the way Chelsea have to move on a lot of players? We spoke earlier, Liverpool have to move on players. We spoke about Spurs having to move on players. They've all got over 25 senior over 21s in their squad. Man United don't. We've literally got 25 on the button. However, you then have to look at who's included in the 25. And of those 25, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them are either for sale or loan, currently injured, or injury prone. So that leaves us with 19 actual spots for players that would be potentially considered reliable. Just so we know who I'm including in the 6. Collier, we know is for sale. He's 22, so he can't be in the under 21s. Ugarte injured. Mount perpetually injured. De Ligt still injured. Martinez, question mark, because we don't know. Xerxes is for loan or sale, and even if you don't want to include Xerxes, you've also got Sesko, who's currently injured. Jarlo, who's currently injured. So, out of those 25, minimum 6 of them are either not wanted or not available. Okay, so that's a really good start for Man United. We've 30 players on the page. 5 of them are under 21s. Another 6 of them are unavailable or unwanted, which leaves us with actually 19 players, which is really good going into a new season. It's just wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Now, we're going to do exactly what we did earlier on for Liverpool. We're going to look at what is Michael Carrick's preferred setup, and what players, including depth, do we have for each of those positions, okay? Michael Carrick's preferred setup is 4-2-3-1. 4-2-3-1. That might sound familiar because we spoke about that earlier on. 4-2-3-1. Slight side note, before we do start looking into the depth, a player... Oh, do you know what? Can somebody just ban Dornell? I don't like liars. I don't like liars. I don't like rage baiters. I don't like people that wreck my mood. I don't like people that make stuff up about me. I don't like people coming on my channel and wrecking my show and my buzz. So if somebody, one of the mods, could please just ban Dornell because I can't be arsed. Absolutely zero tolerance for lies. If you want to argue my point, if you want to disagree with me, coolio. If you want to come and just tell lies, ban immediately. Gone. Absolutely gone. Just not tolerating it. Not tolerating it at all. How can I be deluded and happy and too positive and also too negative? I've literally not said a goddamn word, and apparently, according to Darnell, I'm so negative about Carrick, and I have said that Spurs are better than United, which is just factually untrue. So we're telling lies now. If you come into my channel and tell a lie about me, you're just going to be banned. Straight up. There's a little pro tip. Don't tell lies, you'll get banned. You should learn that as a child. And if you didn't, you will learn it at Teacup Castle. Jesus Christ. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. You would want the patience of a saint to operate on this here YouTube. Because genuinely, my ban list is ginormous. And I couldn't care less. Not one bit. Lies are bad. Anyway, let's go back to the show of what we're actually talking about, that we're not telling lies. You know, because some people can't tell the difference. Michael Carrick, 4-2-3-1. So we're going to start all the way at the back. What did Shem do? No, Shem, you're not allowed to escape. You are not allowed to escape. MUFC has joined us, says Louis Page is our only signing, so don't put any new signings in there. Well, don't tell me what to do. Don't be so bossy. Feel free to express your opinion, but don't be so bossy. That's also not how we work here. Guys, have I lost my mind? Have I woken up in an alternative universe? New chatters are more than welcome on the channel, right? Let me be clear. When you come to the channel, there's a little pop-up. It gives you the guidelines for the channel. And on the guidelines, it says, don't rage bait. It says, argue the point, not the person. And it says something else about, don't be a moron. It's not banter central. Something like that, okay? So, don't come on to my channel, tell a lie about me, and then tell me what I'm allowed to say on my stream. It's not how it's going to work. So let me just be clear going forward. I'll say the things I'm going to say. And then you can agree or disagree. But don't tell me what I'm allowed to say. Anyway. Jesus, we're all out. We're all out. Fair enough. But that's fair. So MUFC says, I'm not telling you, I'm more just saying I don't think we're going to sign anyone else, which is totally fair because I'll be honest, I'm starting to feel that way myself. You're feeling more positive than me because you think we're going to get Paige. I don't even know if we're going to do that much. Let us get started on what we do have. And so just for anybody who's joining us, this isn't my list, right? I haven't made this list of people. This is a list of players that is currently on the Manchester United website. So if anybody has a problem with this list, it's not my list. It's on the club site. So have a word, send an email if we don't like it. Now, let us start. Before I just have a meltdown, let us start. Goalkeeper. We're going to start in a position we don't have to worry about. We're going to start in a really positive position, okay? So, technically, Man United have 6 goalkeepers. However, Altay Bayindar and Andre Onana are both greyed out. We're both greyed out because they're both on loan. So they don't count. They're not in the squad. They're not a part of this number, okay? They're cool. Then we have Sene Laumans. We have Carol Darlow. We are all now familiar with Dermot Mee from the last watch-along. We've also got Tom Heaton. I'm counting all 4 of those. I probably wouldn't have counted Mee before, but the way pre-season's going, I'm counting Dermot Mee. So with Laumans, Darlow still recovering from his surgery. I reckon they just don't want to risk him for a friendly. What's the point? Dermot Mee, who has been stepping in to the breach fair play to him, saved a couple penalties the other evening. Tom Heaton, who is more of a goalkeeper coach than player, but he's available to play if we get absolutely stuck. So, goalkeeping department, tick. It's good. The ones we don't want are on loan on their way out, and we have 4, including a player come coach, in the goalkeeping department, okay? Goalkeeper, totally fine. Love Sene. Carl, I think, is going to be fine once he's fully recovered. Dermot Mee doing an absolute blinder in pre-season. Tom Heaton, I'm just not going to criticise me, Tom, okay? So, goalkeeper, excellent. Guys, that is the peak. That's the peak. It all goes downhill from here, okay? So I hope you enjoyed that bit of positivity. Because from here on out, it's misery. So I'm going to start at left back, okay? As it stands, we have Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw is our singular senior left back. Now, I'm going to be really consistent. So for the people who didn't see the Liverpool one earlier on, you cannot be in multiple positions at the same time. So before anybody says to me, Patrick Dorgu, in my opinion, Patrick Dorgu is better on the left wing. So that's where I'm putting him. So I can't put him at left wing and at left back because he can't play in the 2 positions at the same time. So exactly what I did with Liverpool is exactly what I'm going to do at Man United. When we get to the end, we will discuss the players that can move around and plug holes. But just to get started, we're going to do it exactly the same way so nobody feels hard done by, God forbid. But as it stands, Luke Shaw, he is the only senior left back. We do have Harry Amass, who has done quite well at left back in pre-season. He's under 21, so he wouldn't count towards the 25-man squad. And he also would, if the club get their way, be sold this summer. So he's there as a backup. If the club get their way, they're going to sell him, move him on. They don't want to keep him, which would leave us back with just Luke Shaw. So I think based on that, if we keep Harry Amass, we could still do with a left back, in my opinion, but I mean, it's not as drastically urgent. If we are determined to move on Harry Amass, we absolutely need a left back. So I'm putting down left back, okay? And as I said, we'll kind of go through it more specifically at the end because we can sort of change it. You Got Rose says, we're running out of time on selling en masse. It wouldn't be the worst thing to happen, I reckon. Yeah, this is one of those things where our incompetence might actually be the best thing that could have happened to us. I sort of feel like, and it's not to try and dunk on the player, genuinely, but we were in for Mateus Fernandes. He was one of our priorities, okay? He went for 85 million. I just don't think he's worth that at all. I think he's a decent player. I just don't think he's worth that. We accidentally then ended up buying Santos because we couldn't get Fernandes or Elliot Anderson or Tonali or all the other players we were looking at, right? I love Santos. I think he has been sensational in pre-season. I think he's been really, really good. But that was an accident. Not an accident because we had scouted him before, we had looked at him before, but an accident because if we got all the players we wanted in the first place, we wouldn't have got Santos. And I'm really glad we've got Santos. So by running out of time to sell Harry Amass, it might become one of those things where the club has done really badly, but it actually works out for the better for us. Do you know what I mean? So it might accidentally be a good thing. Buddy in the house saying hello. Mr. DJ Milkshake reminding everybody of his opinion that Man City will win the league by 12 points. You have been consistent. You have absolutely been consistent, and I agree. Carrick has consistently played Dorgu at left wing when he is fit and healthy. He's a left winger. That's where he's being put. Now, let me see what else you guys are saying, because we're going to centre-backs now. So hold on to your hats. We are going to centre-back next. Yes, Heaton is still on the roster. He played in our pre-season already. He did play in our pre-season already. You Got Rose is going to throw a party when Onana is 100% off the roster, as am I. Tony Bennett in the house. Hello to Tony, who says, Man United have some great youngsters that can play. I 100% agree, Tony. I absolutely agree. We have some very, very good youngsters that can play. They're not all being used. Some of the really good ones aren't even being used. But I'm looking primarily at people that count towards the 25-man squad. That's why I'm saying Harry Amass can be a backup to Shaw, but he wouldn't count towards the 25-man squads because he's under 21. He's past the cutoff, so he wouldn't count towards our 25. Do you know what I mean? But yes, we have many, many young players that can help. However, I want them to be able to step in because they've earned it and they're ready, not because we're stuck and we're sort of putting them forward. And I know, look, sometimes it happens and it works out. I don't want to be forced. I want to give them an opportunity without sort of being cornered by being really bad. Do you know what I mean? NS Sports is in the house. Hello to NS Sports. I can't remember if I said that already. Hugh just said the only boss lady here is the boss lady. Absolutely correct and right. Let me see. Cha. Buddy, I'm laughing at Buddy. Right, so we move on to centre back. Now, at centre back, guys, many of you who have been with me since last season, bless you, have heard this rant probably about 16 million times at this point. But obviously, we've so many new subscribers that have joined us through the summer, and you're all so welcome to the Teacup party at Teacup Castle. Thank you all so much for being here. But for anybody who doesn't know, I'm disgusted by our centre-back scenario at the moment. And I have been saying for months and months and months and months that we need a centre-back, but nobody's listening to me. So, as it stands, at centre-back, we have Heaven and Yoro, who are both fit. Excellent work. And I absolutely love Heaven. Love Aiden Heaven. Yoro, I think, has looked quite good this pre-season, primarily at right back, which is concerning when he's a centre-back. I've thought, and maybe it's a pre-season thing, but I thought Yoro has looked better at right back in this pre-season than he's looked at any point playing centre-back. So, but he's a centre-back. That's what we have him as a centre-back. So we've Heaven and Yoro. Martinez, who, as you know, I would sell. I think he's unavailable. I think he's ill-disciplined. I think he's injury-prone. I would sell him. He's not reliable. Whether you think he's talented or not, he's not reliable, okay? So I would move him along. De Ligt has been out for so long. I like De Ligt. Before he got injured, I really, really liked De Ligt. But he's had this massive injury on his back. He's been out for so long. We don't know if he's going to come back the player he was before, as with any long-term injury. We also don't know how careful he's going to have to be with his back. We also... Do you know what? We also don't know, we just don't know. He's an unknown quantity right now. And some people weren't convinced even before he got injured. And then we have Maguire, who I actually quite like, to be fair. I don't mind Harry Maguire, especially as a backup. And he seems to be great, a great head for helping the development of the younger players in terms of the mental side of the game, and in terms of the mental side of being a Man United player. He's been through the ringer, and all of the younger players that come through have... Yeah, thanks, Flossie. I just... see this incessant need to argue just does my head in. But yeah, so we have Maguire. I like him, but I mean, he's not one for the future, is he? He's just not one for the future. So as it stands, our starting centre-backs going into the season are Heaven and Yoro. Maguire's a backup who's becoming injury prone in his age. De Ligt is not back yet. Martinez, who knows? Now, I would say when Martinez is back up to speed, he will become one of the starting centre-backs again. But for how long? Because we don't know when he's going to get injured again. So out of the 5 centre-backs we have, 3 of them you can almost not know. Maguire, I think, goes at the end of this season. De Ligt, we really have no idea. And I think Martinez is quite mixed. What if he comes back and picks up another injury? What if he comes back and picks up another suspension and then another injury? What do we do? At what point do we say we need somebody we can rely on to be in the matches? He's missed more matches than he's played at this point, it feels like. So for me, we need a centre-back. I don't think it's top of the priority list this summer, given the number of other positions we need reinforcements in. But I think by the time it comes around, it is going to start feeling urgent. Heaven and Yoro, as it stands right now this minute, are our starting centre-back pairing. Which is great in the future, but right now, they're still only learning. I love Heaven, but they're still only learning. So for me, I think we need a centre-back. As I said, it's not quite as urgent as left-back, but we definitely need at least one centre-back. By the end of the season, we could need 2 because Maguire's going to be gone, and we'll have a better idea between De Ligt and Martinez in terms of injuries availability. So centre-back for me is some of a concern. We do have people there, but we're also going to need a bit of luck with injuries and stuff. Right back, we're pretty set, to be fair. I mean, Dallow's not my favourite, but we've 2 reasonably good right backs. So Dallow and Mazraoui. I love Mazraoui. So right back is okay. We've found another position. So goalkeeper's all right. Right back is one that I would like to improve upon, but what we have is okay at the minute compared to the state of other positions. So as I said, at the minute, we've only got Shaw at left back. Centre-backs are a little bit all over the place. But right back, we've got 2 reasonable level right backs. If you're an Arsenal, if you're a City, if you're one of these teams that are much further along, you're sort of looking at that right back going, I would want to improve on that. But it's absolutely nowhere near the... I don't even think it's probably bottom of the list. I'm looking at it. It's probably bottom of the list here. Bottom of the list. But let me see what you guys are saying. Now we've got the goalkeeper, we've got the defence. So I'm going to come to you guys before we go to the pivot. Daz is here. Hello to Daz. Will says, Heaven and Yarrow together is hella risky, especially I thought Yarrow's looked really, really, really good in pre-season at right back, which is just good and bad, if you know what I mean. It's all right, Roz. You get your opinion in. You're never rude, really. I've never seen you been rage baity. Rob Always United with the super sticker. Thank you very much to Rob Always United. We've got the little love heart Foxy. Much appreciated, my dear. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Tony says, on the plus side, I think that is the case for nearly half the Prem at centre-back. Yeah, there's a lot of centre-back needed about the place. Guesses, we need a hero. Random says, the Butcher has fallen off defending-wise, still great on the ball, but we will wait for his contract to expire as per usual. Or we'll give him a new really big one and then he'll get another injury. You know, that's very United way to do things as well. Let me see what else you guys are saying. I do like Goodwill Kokonki. He was not listed. And I don't really know what's going on with him. I will need to look actually into Goodwill Kokonki. He was not on the list of players that were offered professional contracts. So I thought, Jesus, are we getting rid of him? Then I saw a report that came out and said, no, he's definitely staying at Man United. We're not getting rid of him. So I don't actually really know what his situation is, because I do like Goodwill Kokonki. Let me double check it. I like him. I do rate Goodwill Kokonki. But again, he's another younger one. He's not, like, if we move on Maguire at the end of the season, and if either or Martinez or De Ligt doesn't work out due to recurrence of injury or other reasons, I don't think Kokonki's the answer. I like him. I definitely think he could come into the first team if we keep him. I don't think he's the answer for those players being moved, if you get me. Let me see. Rose is saying, added to that, Martinez is suspended or hurt. De Ligt is still hurt. Heard the word degenerative. What? Who said that? That's not bloody good. That's really big bad. What? Right, hold on. That is big bad. How would somebody know that? No official club source has stated that. It's speculation. No official report or statement. Nothing official has that. It's speculation. Right, I'm not going to panic about that unless I get actual proper sourcing on it, because that would be really dreadful. But we'll see. We will see. Rose says, love Heaven, think this is a huge year developmentally for Yarrow, agree. Maguire is good in a pinch, agree, but that could change this year. Martinez is a foul machine that has issues staying healthy, totally agree yet again. So me and Rose are on the same page at the moment. Africa King is with us as well. Hello to you. Solid Blake in the house has come in and dropped a like. Shout out to Solid Blake. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me see. Okay, I'm kind of up to date. Kind of up to date. So, next we move into the two. So, we've Santos, who I'm in love with, Tielemans, and Menu, okay? That's it. So across the two positions, we've Santos, Tielemans, Menu. That's what we got. Ugarte is out injured. And then behind them, we do have Toby Collier, who's 22, so he's not under the 21. He would count towards the 25-man squad, who is quite defensive, but who just keeps going out on loan. And it's supposedly out there. It's out there. It's been reported that we are happy to let Collier move on. We're not really bothered if he stays or goes. If he stays, he technically can, but it would be ridiculous to send him back to the younger ages. So as it stands, we have Santos, Tielemans, Menu, injured Ugarte. We currently have Toby Collier, but we're trying to move him along. I think that's a terrible idea, and he is more defensive, and he's got experience in both the Championship and in the Premier League for Man United in the first team. And then added to that, who we've seen throughout the pre-season is Tyler Fletcher. Tyler Fletcher is 19 years of age. He's under 21. He wouldn't count towards the squad. It's been argued that potentially he is maybe taking a spot from somebody who's more ready. I don't know, because I don't watch all of the youth. I only know the ones that I've seen play for the first team. So I kind of have to defer to other people that kind of follow the youth more closely than me. I think Jimmy Thwaites is one of the ones that is supposedly a little bit ahead, maybe we should see more of. But I'll be honest, from what I've seen, I don't feel Tyler Fletcher is ready at this moment in time. If we are going to keep a sort of youth backup, I would rather have Toby Collier, who has extensive experience in the Championship, who's a bit more physically robust, who is a bit more defensive, who has played with us in season previously. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not what you want, but if it's behind Santos, Tielemans, Menu, obviously we would want another midfielder, but imagine we didn't get one. I would rather have Collier than Tyler Fletcher this season. And maybe by next season, Tyler Fletcher's much further along, he goes out on a loan, whatever it is. But for me, I would rather keep Toby Collier, because I think he's worth more to us in this season where we're short in that position than selling him for pennies, which is what we would do. So I am reckoning the Fletchers, they will probably do what we're going to do with Tynan Thompson, which is kind of move him up and down between the junior and senior squads to get some experience, or if we're super stuck, he won't count towards the 25-man limit anyway, so I'm taking him out of there. Which leaves us Santos, Tielemans, Menu. Ugarte, there's no point counting him because he's injured and he's not used even when he's not injured. I would keep Collier, and that still only leaves 4. If they're going to get rid of Collier, that leaves us with 3. So if they get a left back, a second striker, if they do something else, they really do have to keep Toby Collier. Otherwise, we have 3 across 2 positions, which is ridiculous. So we do need another midfielder. We need somebody, I think, that can do more what Santos does. But so we need a midfielder. For me, so far, out of what we need, which one is more urgent, I think, actually depends on which of our youth players we end up moving on. So if the backup to Shaw is Amas and we move Amas on, we absolutely need a left back, like, immediately. If we keep Amas but move on Collier and we've only 3 players in the midfield, then we need a midfielder more. We really need both, guys. What we need is both. But I actually think it depends what we do, because Collier and Amas are the 2 that are being looked at being moved on, who are the actual backups for actual positions that we actually need players in. So what we do with them 2 might decide what we actually do in terms of incomings. Do you know what I mean? So I would say we need a midfielder, but that's where we're at with that. Let me see. I just don't want to jump in the middle of people's conversations. Africa King says Collier may be defensive, but I do think he is also good on the ball. He is, and his passing range is decent, and I think his mind is ready for the Prem. Totally agree, Africa King. I would want to see Collier get a chance. I think Collier has the potential to actually be very good. I think the reason he hasn't kicked on is because we keep giving him 6 half-season loans everywhere. I think if we kept Toby Collier, worked with him, Michael Carrick as a midfielder worked with him, I think he has the raw materials. I think he could be really good. Maybe not a superstar, but I think he has the potential to be really good. So if we're trying to shove him out to shoehorn in Tyler Fletcher, that would really annoy me. And I've said the other week, I don't think that anybody should not get a chance because of who their dad is. So there's a lot of people saying the Fletcher boys are getting a chance because of who their dad is. My stance was they shouldn't not get a chance because of who their dad is either. You shouldn't immediately go, well, they're not good enough, they're only there because they're dad. Watch them and see. I have now watched them in a couple of games and I feel Collier is much further along than Tyler Fletcher. Therefore, if we keep Tyler Fletcher in there who's not ready and move Collier along who is much more ready, because of who his dad is, that's where it becomes a problem. It's not a reflection of the player, it's bad decision making by United. Again, I would rather see Collier in the squad this season than Tyler Fletcher. Next season I might feel differently, but right now where we're at, Collier to me provides what we need, more of what we need. So I completely agree with you, Africa King. Lovely Linda is in the chat with us. Hello to lovely Linda, nice to see you in the chat. Africa King says Jim Thwaites is almost ready. I like Lacey. We'll get to him in a little minute. Fletcher is the one that needs a loan. I agree with you. All boxed up. You rate Collier. Guys, why can we see it and they can't? You got Rose says they'll never get enough for Toby Collier. Doesn't hurt to keep him and give him another shot. The thing is, we never gave him a proper shot. We had him. He was doing well. We sent him out on loan for half a season, then another half a season, then another half a season. He was doing perfectly fine. There was nothing wrong and we shipped him off anyway because we're a bunch of morons. But now we're stuck in the position. Again, I hope maybe if we're going to have to be stuck, accidentally something good can come from it. That's what I'm hoping. All Boxed Up has unboxed. Thank you so much to All Boxed Up. Very much appreciated. Thank you very kindly, my dear. Let me see. You know, I'm pretty much up to date. Okay, let me go forward again. All Boxed Up also rates Lacey. Me and All Boxed Up are on the same page as well. Tell you what, we're all in it together, aren't we? Let me see. Ten Hag gave a good few of the youth a chance. Guess is asking, has everybody hit the like button? Good question by Guess. Have you hit the like button? Tony also rates Lacey. I really like Lacey. I really do like Lacey. Roz says Lacey is quality. We're going to get to him in a minute, but yeah, I like Lacey. So, midfield, we do need a midfielder. If we're not going to buy a midfielder, if we're genuinely not going to buy a midfielder, I think we have to keep Toby Collier, otherwise we've only got 3 players. Because I'm sorry, I just don't think, even if he's going to be ready, I don't think he's ready right now, Tyler Fletcher. So I'm not counting him. I don't think he should be there. I think actually Tyler Fletcher should go on a loan. That's what I think should happen. And we should keep Collier. Buy a midfielder, but if we're not, keep Collier. Which brings us to the 3 behind the striker. We are at left wing, where we have Dorgu and Marcus Rashford. And technically we've Matheus Cunha, but I'm not listing Matheus Cunha here. So, this is where it starts to get a little messy. And if you're asking yourself, was it not already messy? Not really, not yet. So, as I said, I'm only going to list each player in one position. That's what I'm doing. One position for player, because what is the point if I put Dorgu on the left wing and at left back? He can't play them both at the same time. I'm only putting each one in one position. Shout out Solid Blake. Solid Blake has sent me a cup of tea. Love it. Solid Blake always getting the cup of tea in the chat. Thank you so much. Very, very kind. Much, much appreciated. So left wing, I have put Dorgu and Marcus Rashford. That's what I've put. Okay, so just hold on to Cunha for the minute. He's in the list, but he's there. So then we go in to 10. You've got Bruno, obviously. Mount, injured. Lacey. I love Shea Lacey. But again, he's under 21. So actually, kind of by rights, then, you could have Xerxes in there if you were stuck as well. But as it stands, Bruno is Bruno. Mount, injured, but when he plays is decent. Xerxes can play there, but again, I've not put him here, so we've not used him up yet. Lacey. I want to see Lacey kept in the squad. I want to see him in the squad. He's been very good and I really like him. So in the 10, we are okay because Bruno's just so consistently available. And then you do have Mount, when he's fit, can play there. Xerxes can play there, but we're not using him yet. And I would like to see Lacey stay. So 10 is kind of okay. 10 is kind of okay. Right wing is also kind of okay. So to be honest, across the three, we're fine. So goalkeeper, fine. Left back, no. Centre back, no. Right back could be improved, but it's fine in terms of depth. Midfield, depends what we do with Toby Collier, I think. Left wing is fine. 10 is actually okay if we keep Lacey there. If we keep Lacey, I think that's fine. Then we go to the right, where we have Mbeumo and Ahmad. And based on what we've seen in pre-season, Jack Fletcher. Because he definitely plays more further forward. He's definitely been out there on the right-hand side in pre-season. He's listed as an attacking midfielder. That's what he's listed as. But where we've actually seen him has been out on the right. And it's actually, he put in the cross for one of the goals in the pre-season games from that right wing. But similar to Tyler, I think probably not quite ready. Probably needs a loan. Might be kept in and around the squad. He doesn't count towards the squad anyway. He's under 21. He might go between the two teams. So again, he's there if needed, but I'm not really counting him. So we have Mbeumo Ahmad. So we've got 2 for left, 2 for the middle, probably 3, and 2 for the right. So that line is actually okay, to be fair. And then you come to striker. Now, yeah, Random says, to be fair, Bruno doesn't need depth. No, he doesn't. But I would like to have Lacey there for maybe a cup or to let Bruno have a rest even if he's not injured. Or do you know what I mean? And Lacey can also play out on the right as well. So I would like to keep Lacey in and around it, but I've put him in there anyway. Just if you don't want to count Mount because he's injured. Then we go to striker. Sesko is not on the squad list for the AC Milan game. It was thought he was going to get minutes. He's not. He's been out since that push before the end of the season. That is several months. It's a long time. We don't know how he's going to come back. I really liked him last season. I liked what I was seeing. We don't know how he's going to come back. We don't know when he's going to come back. We don't know if he's going to pick up another injury. We need another striker. We should have more than one striker. So, the players that I've saved from other positions, Cunha and Xerxes. Cunha is a left-sided player, but I feel if we're not going to play Sesko, I think Cunha is better through the middle than Mbeumo. Mbeumo's been pretty productive in the pre-season so far, but I think in general, for me personally, if Sesko's not playing and I have to choose between Cunha and Mbeumo, I would pick Cunha. And then obviously with Xerxes, who can play, I think better in the 10, but you don't need another 10. You don't need him on the left. You don't need him on the right. You're not going to play him deeper. I just don't think that Xerxes fits anywhere. But all this talk of he's going on a loan. He was going to Como, now he's not. He was going to Juventus, maybe he's not. I think Xerxes should be gone. He should be sold or at the minimum on loan. I don't think he's a backup striker, but he doesn't go anywhere else. Therefore, in our striker, what we've got is Sesko, who's currently unknown because we don't know really what's happening with that, and Xerxes, who I don't think is a striker, and Cunha, who's actually a left-sided player. So we need a striker. Now, here's the adjustments. So, let's say if we want to keep Sesko and Xerxes as the 1 and 2 for striker, and then we pull Cunha back to left wing. So on the left, you've got Cunha, Rashford, and then pull Dorgu back. So you've got Shaw and Dorgu at left back. I don't like that because I think you're stripping away some of the best parts of Dorgu. I don't like it, but it's just to say if you push it around, that's a possibility. There's not really any moving around that resolves the midfield. So for me, ideally, we need a left back, a centre back, a midfielder, and a backup striker. And if we were really feeling crazy, I would upgrade on one of our right backs. But in terms of urgency, I think a backup striker is super, super urgent. Obviously a midfielder and preferably a left back. But really for me, it depends. Do we move Collier on or do we keep him? Do we move Amass on or do we keep him? I think Dorgu has to stay on the left wing. But if you've got Dorgu, Cunha, Rashford on the left wing, you're not going to need all three of them. Do you have Dorgu, Cunha on the left? Does Rashford go in? Sesko, Rashford? Do you know what I mean? But you're forcing some of those. Dorgu, Rashford, Sesko are all left-sided players. So whoever you move, whether it be Cunha, whether it be Rashford, whether it be Dorgu, you're moving them out of their best position. Right is fine. Mbumo's great on the right. Ahmad, I'm undecided at the minute, but Mbumo's really good. 10 were fine. Centre-back we need. I'm not quite sure if it's urgent yet. We'll have to see what happens this season. Right back could be improved, but not dreadful. Goalie's fine. Left back, Shaw, Amass. You want another left back. I don't want to see Tyler Fletcher in the midfield this season, and I think that's what we're going to do. So it's not good. We need multiple players in multiple positions. Some of the positions we're actually all right in. If we keep some of these younger players like Amass and Collier and Lacey, there's some of the positions we've actually got reasonable depth in as well, like talented depth. What I don't want to see is Tyler and Jack shoehorned in. And I've seen a lot of abuse, like nastiness towards them online. They're 19 years of age. It's not their fault who their dad is. And I don't think they should be held back because of who they're related to either. But for me, they need a loan. They're not ready for the first team. And they certainly shouldn't be ahead of a Collier or an Ahmad or a Shea Lacey. So I would take them out. I would keep Amass, Lacey and Collier. And I think I would want Xerxes out. And I would want a backup striker. And a centre back. But as much as we need a number of players, depending on the decisions the board makes or Michael Carrick makes in terms of who he's going to keep with the senior squad and who he's going to let go back down, I think that could make or break our season. Because I agree, I can't remember who said it. Was it Tony said it earlier? United have enough talented young players to slot in, and I mean talented young players that have experience playing with the first team. I don't mean like kids. I don't mean like Jack and Tyler. I don't mean Jim Thwaites. I don't mean Goodwill Kakonki. I mean young players who have experience playing with our first team. That's what I mean. So we do have enough youth if we pick the right ones with the right experience that are ready, that can help plug some of those holes and come into their own in the season coming. So I think Lacey's a good example of those. I think if we get the decision making right, we could be okay. We need more. We should do better. But it's not as drastically terrible as actually it feels. We've got more depth there than we maybe realise. My concern, and I see Wills is saying, I'm surprised you're so worried. What I'm worried about is not our depth. What I'm worried about is our club's ability to choose the right players. Because what I think is going to happen is Man United are going to sell Amass or loan him. I think they're going to move on Collier. And I think they're going to keep Jack and Tyler. And I think if you do that, so for me, I would keep Amass, Lacey, Collier. If they don't do that and instead they keep Tyler and Jack, then immediately that depth disappears. Because you've only got Shaw, Dorgu's moved out of position, Tyler's not ready, which reduces your ability in the midfield, and right wing, it makes no difference because we've got Mbeumo and Ahmad. So my concern isn't the depth. My concern is the decision making within the club on what to do with that depth. Do you know what I mean? I don't think the club's going to make the same decisions I would. If I thought the club were going to do what I want to do, I actually would be quite chilled about it. I'd be saying striker's probably the most important thing then. And maybe a left back. But I don't think the club's going to do what I say. I think the club are going to keep the Fletchers. Which is the problem. Random says we're miles better than 3 years ago, but we need at least a left back and a central midfielder. Rob says I'd keep just Tyler for the future. I would loan both of them out. Personally, I would loan both of them out. Why has Collier had to go on about 16 loans? Ethan Wheatley, by the way, we have a striker. Can I just say, Ethan Wheatley is still a Man United player. Ethan Wheatley is a striker. Ethan Wheatley is old enough to play with the senior squad. So say you don't want to have Xerxes. If we can move Xerxes on, but you don't want to buy a striker because you want to invest in a left back or a midfielder, Ethan Wheatley is not even listed on the senior squad. Ethan Wheatley is listed with the under-21s. And it's not because of age, because Jack and Tyler are 19 and they're listed with the senior squad. Why are Jack and Tyler Fletcher listed with the senior squad at 19 years of age, and Ethan Wheatley, who's 20, is not listed with the senior squad, having played with them in season? So we have another striker who we're not including, who wouldn't count towards the 25-man squad, wouldn't put us over the limit, and we're refusing to acknowledge his existence. So my problem is the decisions being taken with the youth that we have. Again, I just feel like we have options and we choose all of the wrong ones all of the time. No, see, I feel the other way, Mohammed. Mohammed says, I feel United maybe need more than Liverpool looking at this. I don't think we do. I think we need much less than Liverpool. Genuinely, I'm not even, being biased. I think when I looked at this, my first thought was that's not as bad as Liverpool. Genuinely, that was my first thought. I don't think we need more. I think you're more likely to make the right decisions than us. That's, I think, the problem. Africa King would sell Amas because you think we can do better. But that would mean we'd be getting a left back and not a midfielder. As I said, I think we need both, but with the way our club works, if you say, okay, move Amas on, fairs, because we don't all have to rate the same players, and then say, get in a left back that you think is better, cool, we would have to keep Collier then. We would have to keep Collier. Which, to be fair, based on your previous comment, you probably wouldn't mind. But that's cool. I would be okay with that, because for me, Amas is better than having nobody, because I think that's what we're trying to do. I think we're trying to move Amas on and just move Dorgu into left back. That's what I think we're trying to do. If I thought we were going to sell Amas and replace him with somebody like really better, not like a little bit better, like a lot better, cool. Go for it. I don't mind that at all. I just don't think that's what we'll do. Tony says they're getting special treatment. I do feel like they are a little bit. I'll be honest. And I don't like that, because I think it's unfair, because it's completely outside of their control. But based on what I've now seen in pre-season, if they are now included in the season, which I think they're going to be based on what I'm seeing here on the main senior page, they've been taken out of the under-21s page and they've been put on the senior squad page at 19. I do feel like that is, if they weren't who they were, I would question if that would be the case. And I think that's so unfair, because then they never get the opportunity to prove themselves the way the other players have. They might go on a loan and smash it. Look at Ahmad. Ahmad went on a loan and we went, yes, that's what we're looking for. Like, they should be given the opportunity to develop in the way the other players have had the opportunity. So I think it's unfair on them as well. But I do feel that they are, whether intentionally or not, being treated a bit differently, which I don't like, because it puts a target on them when it's not down to them, really. Let me see. Africa King says, I don't want Dorgu anywhere near the build-up. That's a fair point. He shouldn't be a left-back. I don't know how he got to the right place, but we agree. You Got Rose says, where are they going to play Rashford? I think he's part of the team, like it or not. Well, I have put him down on left wing with Dorgu, but it could be the other way around. So I've put Dorgu, Rashford on the left, Sesko, Cunha at striker. It could end up being Dorgu, Cunha on the left, Sesko, Rashford at striker. I think it's going to be rotational between Cunha, Rashford, striker, left wing, with Sesko and Dorgu. That's what I think that's going to happen, personally. I think it's a bit messy. It would have been better if Rashford was moved on. We had Cunha, Dorgu at left wing, and then we moved Xerxes on and got a proper backup to Sesko, is what we should have done. We should have had Dorgu and Cunha, Sesko and a new striker, Rashford and Xerxes gone. But we haven't done that because disaster. Yeah, and see, that's it, Random. Random says, Tyler was mint in youth football. He definitely worked his way up, but he is struggling to adjust to the men's football currently. Exactly, because that is exactly what happened. Ethan Wheatley, I've done the show, sensational at the underage groups. It was the next big thing. He didn't hit the ground running, and he's been dropped like a hot snot. He's 20, and he's not on the senior page, having played more senior games. I'm not saying the two boys will never be good enough. What I'm saying is we've seen other players come through who were sensational on the youth level, who earned a chance at senior level, and they were dropped like hot snots. They weren't given a proper opportunity. So when we see the boys in pre-season who don't look ready, whether they will be or won't be, right now they don't look ready. Why are they not being treated the same as other players who were brilliant in the youth setup, came through, weren't quite ready, they were sent out on loan? Every other player that's come through that was really good in the youth but hasn't quite hit the ground with the senior squad have been then sent out on loan. All of them. So if you don't send them out on loan, then you are treating them differently. It's not that they don't merit a chance. It's that when they get the chance, if it doesn't look like they're quite ready, they should be treated the same as everybody else. Do you know what I mean? Wills thinks we're going to be top 4 again. When do I do City? I'm going to be doing, yeah, I can definitely do it. The noon, oh my God, the noon stream is 7 a.m. for you. So for anybody that joined us late, I'm going to come back, but for anybody that joined us late, the next ones I'm going to do City, Arsenal, Newcastle, Leeds, Villa. So what I'll do is I'll put, I haven't got them in any particular order. So City, I'll put 7 p.m. beside it, so I know to do that in one of the 7 p.m. slots. Tomorrow we have a pre-season game. We do have a lunchtime show. I don't know what way the transfer news is going to be tomorrow. And then on Sunday we've Community Shield. So it'll likely be, I would say maybe Monday, pencil City for Monday. I'll write it in brackets. Pencil City for Monday. And probably Arsenal after that as well. After the Community Shield, I'll probably do Arsenal and City. So pencil for Monday, 7 p.m. Just so you sort of have an idea. Let me see. Huge says, with no left back or midfield injuries, we will get top 4. That's the thing. We do have depth. We do have good youth. It's not as bad as it feels. It's not. Especially now that we've looked at some other teams. It's not. When I was writing it out, I was like, okay, it's not amazing. It's not as bad as I thought it was, like by a long shot. I'm feeling a little bit calmer, actually. I still want to see us do more, but I'm not as stressing as I was, if that makes sense. I would I actually genuinely think my priority, genuinely, and I can't believe this is what I'm saying, if I keep a Mass and Collier, my priority would actually probably be to move Xerxes on and get another striker. Between midfield and left back, I think Amas looks more likely to leave. There seems to be more fuss around him. Then probably left back. And while I think midfield is important, I think if we keep Collier, it's slightly less dramatically bad. I still think we need one, but I'm just not as stressing as I was before. Let me see. Random says, I think United will win the league, but I'm a random idiot. Love it. Love it. Yeah, I feel a bit calmer, guys. I do genuinely feel a bit calmer because I thought, oh my God, what is our squad? So when I actually looked at it on a piece of paper, I was like, okay, not so bad. Not so bad. Let me see. Tony says, I hope Liverpool have an awful window. Newcastle need it. I love the pettiness. I love it. And see, that's fun because it's not nasty. It's not horrible. It's just a bit of fun. I love that. That's quite good. That is quite good. Tony reckons we make top 4 again as well. I must be doing all right on this show. Everyone's feeling a bit more positive. Rose says, I'm not sure that pushing out Amas and Collier is coming from Carrick. That was a front office decision. Oh yeah, well that was happening before Carrick came anywhere near the squad. That's been happening. So yeah, I definitely don't blame him for that. Let me finish the rest of Will's comment. I never read the rest of Will's comment earlier. He said, I've got to say, I'm surprised you're as worried as you are, which we read. I'd say you do have room for improvement, definitely, but have a good foundation and a good squad to get Champions League again. I do think we have a good foundation. I think it's the next layer. Rob says, yes, we're on the same page. Definitely keep Collier and Amas. And the thing is, if we were to get somebody, as I said, who's clearly better than Amas and move him on, fine. My problem is I think we move him on and then just don't replace him. Same thing with Collier. I think if we move Collier on, we're just going to put Tyler Fletcher in there. I don't think we're going to buy anyone. That is my issue. That is the issue. Random says, Wheatley seemed really good when he got his introduction to the first team, but it's like they decided he wasn't it because he didn't score like straight away. Agreed. And again, he looked ready. He looked ready. We have other players that look ready and good, and it just doesn't work. Let me see. Chat. If United win the league, says Africa King, that would be the most miraculous turnaround I've ever seen. Yeah, it would be. I'd be buying lotto tickets if Man United won the league. Yeah, Mohammed says, can't wait for the prediction show for the league position. Well, actually, essentially what this is, this series, I was doing this research for the predictor show. And then as I was looking at stuff, and then obviously it came out about Chelsea having like 46 players. And I was like, why don't we do it as a series together? So by the time the predictor show comes, we've all actually looked at the teams together. I think it'll make the prediction show actually a lot better. Kai's going to be a bit behind because he's not done all the groundwork with us, but we'll be making real good predictions. Mr. DJ Milkshake says, United's first team can compete, but an injury will be devastating, same as Liverpool. I think depending where the injury is. I agree with you. So, for example, if Santos got injured and what we were left with was Tielemans and Menu, I think that would be diabolical. And that's not, I really like Tielemans as a sign-in. I think Menu's decent as a squad player. But I mean, what Santos does is not going to be done by Tielemans or Menu. So, for example, I think I agree with you to a point. It depends where the injury is. If Luke Shaw gets injured and we've moved on Harry Amas, bugger out. If Sesko doesn't come back properly, bugger out. If anything happens, Santos, buggerud, which tells you the 3 primary positions that you should be looking at. Striker, left back, midfielder. Do you know what I mean? If you look at which injury kills you, that's how you know where you should be getting your players. For me. Let me see. Yash says, what is your opinion on Xerxes after his pre-season? It's entirely the same, Yash. So for me, we should be moving Xerxes on. I think he's a lovely young man. I think he's had a decent pre-season. I think, you know, I wish it had worked out in terms of being a Man United player. Not for me. He needs to be moved on. He should be getting sold. I don't even think a loan is good enough, and I think that's the best we can hope for at the minute. I personally, I think he should be moved on. He's not, you can't play him on the left, you can't play him on the right. His best position is 10, where we've got Bruno, and then we've got Lacey coming through, who I also think is better than him, and he's not a striker. So what do you do with him? He's just taken up a spot in the squad. If you move him on, you can get somebody better who does suit what we need. He was brought in to be a backup striker. He's not a backup striker. So for me, Yash, my opinion is he should be sold. Very nice young man. I would wish him well anywhere he goes. But I think he should be sold. Personally. The prediction show, Mohammed, is Friday. Friday. Me and Kai. No, sorry, it's Thursday. Lies, it's Thursday. I'm not used to saying Friday. Prediction show, season predictions, table predictions, Thursday. Lou and Kai, Thursday. Because the season starts on Friday. So we're doing it as close to the start of the season as possible. So it'll be Thursday night. 7 o'clock. Mr. DJ Milkshake says, any injury outside the back four would be bad. Yeah, well, if Bruno got injured and Mount's already injured, would be looking at Lacey, who's very good, but I mean, that would be unfair. So, yeah. Left wing, we've got 3 players. Dorgu, Rashford, Cunha can all do left wing. So, left wing, we're okay. That's kind of it. Left wing is fine. Flossie has to go, but you know what, guys? So do we. We've been here for more than an hour. We could talk forever. We could talk forever on this topic, but I believe there's a Chinese with my name on it. So, that is us. That is us. We've come to the end. We've done it. Room for improvement, but overall, actually, not that bad. Not that bad. Better than where I thought we were. We have to make some good decisions about which younger players we keep as part of the squad and which younger players we let go and get some more experience elsewhere. If we make the right decisions on those and add maybe 1 to 2 more like good signings, I genuinely think we might be trucking. Genuinely. Even with this, if we make the right decisions, I think we probably are all right for Champions League, you know. By Thursday, I might talk myself round. But, yeah, that's sort of where I'm at. Thank you guys so much. Absolutely loved it. Really thoroughly enjoyable. I will see you tomorrow. It will be a 12 o'clock show tomorrow, lunchtime. And then we've the earlier live show for the pre-season match, 3:45 Man United pre-season watch-along. Thank you all for being here. Thank you so much for getting involved, your comments, your likes, giving your opinions. Thank you very, very much to the ever so generous super stickerers. Thank you very much to Rob, to All Boxed Up, and to the very lovely Solid Blake. You have been wonderful. Go off and enjoy your evening, and hopefully I'll see you back tomorrow with me, 12 o'clock.